Good evening and welcome to the Movies Podcast. The Movies section is reporting in live. And with me today, Kaz Harlow, me, I have Tom.
Ladies.
Simon.
What a wonderful haircut you've got there, Kaz.
Thank you. Yeah, super short, super short. And Mark.
Hey, yeah.
No surnames today, no surnames, just shake your hands. We're going to dive straight into the competitions. And then we're going to take you on a whirlwind ride through the latest movies and 4K news, upcoming discs. I've got Robocop. I'm pointing at him now, but you can't see my hand because I've got a background working. And TV. We can do it all. Okay, so let's start with some competitions from Mark, please.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Harlow. As ever, a plethora of disc-based delights for your delectation. You can win Resident Evil Raccoon City and Last Night in Soho on 4K, Criterion's February titles, Caveat, Arrows Don't Go in the House, and 101 Films' Sweetie, You Won't Believe It, all on Blu-ray, and Clint Eastwood's Cry Macho on a very retro, how do you spell that again? DVD.
Yes.
No idea.
Yeah.
So head on over to avforums.com/competitions to enter. All competitions are open to eligible AV Forums members resident in the UK.
Resident Evil in the UK.
Would you like me to do the previous competition winners as well, Cass?
No, I'm going to get Tom to go. He loves these names. He loves the names.
I do.
So lucky.
Except when you put something in that ends up tripping me up and I read it and I look like a pillock.
Yeah, I haven't done it for ages.
Look like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much of a change, really.
We'll see. Let's have a look. So we've got a few winners here. Ghost Z won a copy of Nest on Blu-ray. That's a good one. Don't know. Groove Heart won Infinite Football on Blu-ray. I'm assuming that there is literally an infinite amount of football on that Blu-ray.
It's a patron, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Patron Sam V. Await won a copy of Shock on Blu-ray. Garrett won a copy of Catwoman Hunted on not Laserdisc. Kaz, stop! Don't do this to me. Probably also on Blu-ray, I imagine.
It's a Blu-ray, yeah.
And patron The Thing WNN won Criterion's January titles, also on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Excellently done, Squire.
Yes. Very sweet.
Mm.
Yep. And we got more. I mean, it's the eve of March, so we've got more loaded up, ready to go next week. Because it's a short month. It's closing out on Monday. So prepare for more competitions. Let's do some movies.
Movies.
Yes.
I like the movies.
Yes, we're going to talk about that age-old thing of how good modern blockbusters are. We're going to discuss some recent movies.
We're going to talk about streaming again. We always talk about streaming.
Not really, just tangentially. I mean, just as it happens to relate to how, possibly there's been some good streaming and there's been some disappointing cinema. So I guess we're talking streaming, but that's just by accident.
Well, let's be honest. We're all movie fans here. The format in which we choose our movies surely is irrelevant. Sure.
Lol.
Yeah. Yep. I only watch my movies in black and white on a 4x3. Cinema. Tom, you saw Uncharted, the greatest Mark Wahlberg movie.
You know what? It was fine. It was an okay movie. Like I think I wrote in the review, like it might be one of the best video game movies that I've seen. But
Super Mario?
Sure.
No.
Raccoon City, surely not.
Wow.
Robocop says no. He says no.
It's
he says no.
marginally better than those. Marginally better than those. It was fine. Like Tom Holland was Tom Holland in it. Mark Wahlberg was Mark Wahlberg in it. There was a lovely argument on the forums about whether or not he had a mustache. I was put in my place. He doesn't.
Fell asleep.
He doesn't have
Really?
a mustache, right? He doesn't have a mustache. And then you go home. And then after you've gone home, there is a scene in which he has a mustache.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway,
14 minutes. And didn't you stay for 14 minutes of credits?
I 100% did not stay.
No
There are two mid-credit sequences, and I watched one of them, and then I was like, nah, that's it. There's nothing else.
You picked the wrong one.
I picked the wrong one.
And
you know, weirdly enough, the one that I missed is actually in the trailer.
This is genius.
The end credit stinger is in the trailer. That is the first time I've ever known that to be. It's nonsense. That's the weirdest marketing tactic ever.
This is the new thing. They always save the mustache till last.
You're right. Wait for the mustache.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was it as good as Nile, Mark?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of mustaches, Kaz, do you see what I did there?
Yeah, very nice.
You see that?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, Nile 2 was very okay. It opened with an origin story of said mustache, which was very strange. Kind of like a very serious and somber version of River Phoenix at the start of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with his little chin scar. But it was okay. I didn't think it was as good as Orient Express. It was too long in the beginning. It was almost an hour in before said death took place. Introduced to an awful lot of characters that then do nothing with. But having said that, once that I think I said in the review, once the gunshot rang out, the film kind of sprang into life. You know, Branagh was very good as Poirot. The film is more interested in Poirot himself than the actual mystery, which is an interesting little take on it. Shot through with a massive dose of sadness, darkness, and melancholy, which isn't what you kind of expect from that cozy little film you used to watch with your nan starring Peter Ustinov. But, you know, it was, as Tom said, it was okay.
I like that you've described a Kenneth Branagh movie where it is about the main character played by Kenneth Branagh, as if this might be a surprising thing. Let's take all of that. You know, there's a murder mystery here, but what about me?
Yeah, so yes, but I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind his Poirot. I find him amusing. I find him interesting. And now I know why he wears a mustache. That's it. I'm hooked. I'm in for all of them. Give me all of Christie's oeuvre, shall we say?
And in the meantime, I think we had more fun on streaming. Is that the case, Tom? Do you think we had more fun on streaming?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fun. I suppose you could say fun. Old Henry is good. I wouldn't say that it was necessarily fun, but it's a good.
Don't
it is
tell us the end.
I won't tell you the end.
Don't talk about it. It's live.
I won't. I will not be issuing a single spoiler this evening. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It's a great little Western that is just super.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah,
If you couldn't tell by looking at the little picture that's come up in the window next to us, there's a Western, and it's a Western version of A History of Violence, and that on its own is a great concept.
Nice.
But it gets better. The concept. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Does Tim Blake Nelson get naked?
Did you talk about History of Violence then? That's Vigo, isn't it?
Yeah.
History of Violence. Is that right? Vigo?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I could talk about that, but
I think it would bear no relevance. Yeah, I've heard it compared well to Unforgiven. I heard good things about it, and I found out about the end. And I
that's a shame.
I don't know when I can watch it because my memory stays for a long time.
Does it end with the West being won?
Possibly.
The wagon gets painted red.
I think he rides out of town and tells everybody that if they don't bury his friend, he's going to come back and he's going to kill their families and their dog. And yeah.
No, it's super good. You guys should definitely go and watch it. Like Tim Blake Nelson in it does this really weird thing where the way that he shoots and the way that he stands when he shoots is absolutely insane. And I have never seen anything like it before. But you look at it and you kind of go, oh, actually, that's really cool. Like you'd think you look like a prat, but you don't. You look really awesome. So
I've got to watch it. I do have to watch it.
Practiced in the mirror, have
I gave it a go. Yeah.
No, I do.
Fully
have to
clothed, I
watch it.
hope.
I'm gonna take some time. I saw KIMI instead, and I expected this to be disappointing. It's called KIMI, in like capitalized, because I can't say her name because she'll wake up and start talking to me. But it's like those voice activated things that are in people's rooms.
You mean Alexa?
Thank you. And
Hey Google
and Siri, yeah, all these things. So
play the theme tune to Poddington Peas.
Yeah, she can't hear you right now, but
Damn.
she would. But anyway, so it is these devices in people's houses, and it's about a company that monitor the recordings that she can't process, and maybe their slightly dubious handling of private information. And in specifically, it's about one person who's tasked with monitoring these, who hears something that she maybe, I mean, it's a bit rear windowy. It could be some kind of crime that she hears. And as a result of that, obviously it goes into massive conspiracy. Do we believe her? Is anyone going to believe her? How is she going to deal with this? What's interesting is it's not only taking the relevance of these modern devices and whether or not they're listening to us right now.
They
are. And the companies and what they do with that information and all the rest of it. I mean, it takes that and it wraps it up in a post-COVID world, which is, it should all go wrong and be absolute nonsense. I mean, there have been a bunch of COVID movies. I think Michael Bay produced one called Lock-In.
Songbird.
There was a Songbird. That's it.
I didn't mind that.
That's not selling me. And there's another one that was Chiwetel Ejiofor robbing someone during COVID. I mean, they were all distinctly average. And KIMI, it posits a post-COVID world with a girl who had some trauma before COVID, and then when COVID hit in, she just doubled down on agoraphobia, and it does not leave her apartment. So it's quite an interesting spin on. I mean, that must be a real issue for real people, and she does well in it. It's good. It's Zoe Kravitz, and she nails it. And I think. I mean, there's not all universal love for this film, but I think Soderbergh did well. It's well shot. It's got a proper Hitchcockian theme from Cliff Martinez, I think. I'm going to throw that out there and get it wrong and someone will slap me. But it's very
no Oscar nod then.
No Oscar nod. No, it's not that kind of thing, but it's 89 minutes. It's perfect. You're going to watch it and you're going to go, that was a good way to spend 89 minutes.
I'd say the same of old Henry. Again, it was super tight, hour and a half movie.
Makes a difference.
Super, really does.
But I wonder, Kaz, is KIMI anywhere near as good as The Woman in the Window? Because surely not. Surely not.
I found that movie to be garbage.
Yeah, I think you'll find it is possibly better.
Well, I may give it a watch then.
Yes, you should, because I expected it to not be, and I really enjoyed it. Very, very good.
Excellent.
And you know what? I did not want to watch someone update Rear Window. I was not on board with it. I was not on board with the tech, not on board with COVID, not on board with Rear Window. It was 3 big no's, and I watched it, and I really thought it was great. Yeah, big no, 3 big no's. So,
there's we have just had confirmation in the chat that it is Cliff Martinez.
Nice
to the score. So
Thank you.
Good work, Kaz.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel, for confirming that.
I nailed it, and I never doubted myself.
But someone tell him he's wrong anyway. Come on, we live for the argument.
Okay.
You're wrong.
That's
there you go.
That's a harsh. But yeah, I think that was
You're pretty much guaranteed something of there's a base quality level to a Soderbergh movie, isn't there? That it's not going to be bad, is it? Like it's going to be good to brilliant. So,
this was upper end of good, but I'm recommending it because
hang on, Mark,
minutes you can
wait a minute. Mark's disagreeing. Mark doesn't like Steven Soderbergh.
No. I have a lot of time for Soderbergh, but I'm sorry. I'll just say Unsane and leave that there. That was not a good film.
Okay,
not a good film.
Okay, so I didn't mind Unsane. I didn't have a problem with Unsane, but I appreciate your opinion, Mark. As usual.
Kaz is professionally passive aggressive there.
Thanks for being here, Mark.
Yes. What's that? Is my microphone stopping working?
Tell me about Scream, Mark. Tell me about Scream and how great it is. Because I watched it. I watched it as well.
Yes, and I did warn you not to. So on your head be it.
I know. And I went into it fully availed of the problems. And there were 2 fridges too many in that movie.
I told you the high point of the entire movie was not just the single fridge fake out, but the double fridge fake out. That's right. I mean, what's
Spoiler.
That's not a spoiler. It's more a warning. Let's be honest.
Spoiler warning.
Inside the fridge.
Look, Scream for me, and I know a lot of people didn't mind it, but I was hugely invested in the franchise, and I absolutely detested the new Scream. I thought it missed by a country mile what made the original franchise and the original characters so good. I thought it completely wasted bringing those original characters back to do absolutely nothing with the vast majority of them. And it's
Mark describing Ghostbusters Afterlife there.
This is going to get fruity. It's going to get fruity. But maybe that's the interesting point. Maybe, why is it any different from Ghostbusters Afterlife? But maybe it's just what you then bring to it and the relative investment you have in said franchise. But no, I mean, I didn't like Scream at all. I thought it was a complete waste of the good stuff that they actually did with Scream 4. And I really liked Scream 4. I thought Scream 4 was a good granted, it's 10 years old now, but it was a good update for the now YouTube generation, taking on what Craven did with all the meta in the first 3. So that had set my expectations, but this...
There's a lot of meta going on in this, but I've noticed a tendency, and they don't always get it right. I did find it funny at the beginning of the latest Matrix movie. But in this, I just got so bored of these young kid actors talking about meta stuff. It as if it's such a layered, nuanced script. It's not. It's a massive hammer, and they're just whacking the audience with it and saying the word meta repeatedly. It's disappointing that we've gone this way, because actually there are times where filmmakers can integrate stuff in a way that makes the audience, when they realize what's going on, go, wow, that doesn't happen when you whack them in the face.
Like Scream used to be.
Yeah, like Scream used, or like they did recently in After Party, I would say.
Sure.
They don't have to talk about it because they want you to discover it. There's nothing clever about the script to this. So I think it was disappointing, but I can also see a singular scene in it where Mark would have just been ready to smash up that cinema.
There was a riot. There was a riot
in your mind. Yes,
in my head,
and I felt for you.
Yes.
So I can also see why you're saying there is a personal angle to this. So.
Very much so. But there is one good thing about it, Kaz. It is not the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, I'm considering that a massive plus point.
Yeah,
that was
about
great, wasn't
being bludgeoned to death by a script. Jeez.
Did he use a script? I thought it was a chainsaw. He kill people with a script.
You don't really bludgeon people with a chainsaw, do you? Like, I mean, you could.
Well,
you very easily
run out of petrol.
Don't give him ideas for the next film, Tom. For God's sake.
You know what? Like, yeah, some similar problems, like the young cast speaking so openly about the messages of the movie, like what the movie is trying to say about a thing, is so annoying. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not it's another legacy sequel that's just come out on Netflix, and the way that people talk in it. By the way, Instagram, right? Kids, yeah, is so frustrating. So frustrating. That it is difficult to see past that. But once you do see past that, there is a terrible movie behind it.
Nice.
I see what you did there, Mr. Davies.
Thank you. Yeah. It was a bad experience. It was a bad experience because there was a fundamental misunderstanding about what the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are. Now, I know that they've kind of scrapped any of the reboot or the reboot of the reboot. They're paying no attention to anything. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is a direct sequel to the original The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But nevertheless, it has absolutely no relation whatsoever to the original. And it's weird that they've decided to make it a sequel to that rather than a sequel to
any of the other
reboots, because it feels, when you're watching it, much closer in tone to particularly Texas Chainsaw and
Leatherface,
Texas Massacre,
and it feels much closer to those, which is also weird. But the main thing that it gets wrong is that it doesn't understand what's frightening about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And what's frightening about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is that this is people doing terrifying things to people. And once again, instead of a lumbering, underdeveloped human being who is chasing these teens, it's another supernatural, unstoppable killer. It's another Jason Voorhees, another Mike Myers. It's another.
Behave.
Imagine that.
Could have been good.
That would have been. That would have been. Behave. Yeah. No.
Disappointing.
Really, really disappointing. Like I say, just a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes Leatherface a scary opponent, and just have him be another unkillable, death-dealing nothing, basically. So yeah, it sucked.
A lot of disappointments around, and this is horror disappointment at the moment. But you're going to see something good next week, aren't you?
Am I?
You? Batman.
Is that what I'm seeing next week?
Isn't it? What?
It is, yeah.
I even did the voice.
Tom's counting down the hours.
He's not. He forgot.
I forgot.
Is he busy that day?
Do you know what? I actually am busy that day, but earlier on, so.
It's a 15. What do we think about that?
I think nothing about that.
Okay, fine. It's fine. Well,
it's interesting. It's interesting on the level that in the US it's still a PG-13, putting it on a level with things like the Marvel movies, Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Whereas in the UK it's a rating above which they were 12s, I think 12A or whatever.
So does that mean that the US version is cut?
No, I don't think so. I think it's purely to do with the British Board of Film Classification.
Well, and also that the PG-13 rating in America covers 12 through. Yeah. It covers a wider spectrum. So they, I mean, there haven't been, I think, many instances of this recently. I would say 15 years ago, maybe it was more common that you would end up in that territory where a PG-13 could be a 15 here. But studios know. I mean, even if we end up getting it censored People know not to land a 15. I think they're taking a gamble with it because the ratings don't seem to make a huge amount to box office anymore, so it might not matter. But what was pointed out on the forums was in the Uncharted, I think it was the Uncharted thread, they were talking about how Uncharted was doing really well. Sorry, Tom. Doing really well at the box office, like massively well, and how there was nothing else out there to topple it. In America, that's going to change when Batman's released in a couple of weeks' time, and Batman's going to trounce all over it. I mean, likely, but in the UK, it's a rating above Uncharted. So if you want to take your family, your younger family, to go and see an adventure movie, a superhero-y kind of blockbustery thingy, you're out of luck. You're going to go and see Uncharted.
I mean, the main thing that would put me off taking my family to see Batman is that it's 3 friggin' hours long.
Yes. Yeah.
And 14 minutes and then a stinger at the end.
I don't know. To get back to the serious point of the discussion, I go off my daughter. My daughter's 11. She's a huge MCU fan. She's seen all of them. She absolutely worships them. She has no interest in seeing any of the Nolan films, no matter how many trailers I show her, and she has no interest at all in this new Pattinson version. And I think it's just that it feels that this film is very, very different from your usual superhero shenanigans, shall we say. So therefore, while it is a risk, but I think it's a risk that the filmmakers are hoping is going to drag in the more mature audiences that wouldn't necessarily go to an MCU film, whereas the MCU is now a family outing. I think this is now firmly your elder teenager adult night out thing, and they're hoping to attract more of that by saying, look, it's a bit darker, this one. Come on.
I mean, Joker broke $1 billion at the box office, so...
But then they should have gone, that's what I can't understand. If that's all, I mean, I agree with that logic completely. So stick an R rating on it. Because in America, you can still go and see it younger because the R rating is different from an 18. In an 18, you got to be 18. You can't just get your mum and dad to take you in when you're 12. In America, an R rating just means if you're 12, you got to get or it might be 13.
A drunk hobo off the street to accompany you.
You got to get someone older or someone who looks older, who's growing facial hair, to get you in there. And that's so it's a different thing. So they could have stuck an R rating on it. So I agree with Mark that they could appeal to the Joker audience, but it feels like doing PG-13 in the US and a 15 here, just random. And all it'll actually mean here is that Uncharted will stay at the top. Whereas in America, it'll be a different story. I kind of wish we had a R-rated Batman. I'm gonna talk about this as an R-rated Batman.
I think,
but it's the same film. It is an R-rated Batman.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't though, is it? It's a PG-13.
I think it's going to be.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
dark.
Yeah, it's going to be gritty enough. You don't have to have like pooling blood in a Batman movie, like you don't.
Oh yeah. It's going to be lots of. It's going to be 3 hours of brooding.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus. 3 hours in the dark, as Gary Hall says on the chat there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to it, if only because of Arpats. He has won me over.
He has, yeah.
He can do whatever he likes.
Tom, if you don't score this 4 out of 10, I'll be incredibly disappointed.
I think he's going to give it an 8. I'm going 8. Yeah.
Didn't we all score it in that at the beginning of the year?
The forecast.
I'm reframing it. I think that he's going to be at the end of that 3 hours. It will have beaten him into submission.
Would have beaten you into a pulp. You're going to have to give it more than a 4.
He'll have left before the end credit sequence that shows Batman with facial hair.
That's played by Harry Styles.
I don't know. I just think his Bruce Wayne looks too moody teenager. I think that's wrong. I know they're going back to the beginning to think he's, year 1, year 2, so he hasn't really got that second persona of Bruce Wayne. But I don't know. When you're mopey and long hair and look like a twat, so how's it going to work?
He's a different actor from Twilight, though.
He's a good acting man.
The trouble was,
acting man.
me and Simon had to review the Twilight movies back in the day, it took a minute to
I
kind
can
of
never forgive him.
yeah, exactly. And it took a while for
Never
me
forgive
to move past that and see he could act. Yeah, I'll give him this. But let's see. We'll see. Seems like the 4K disc is coming to you, Simon, because you're opening it with wide arms. It's May, I think. It's already been announced, May. In fact, let's talk discs. Yeah,
Nice.
seamless.
Slick.
Yeah,
Love it.
just came right into my head. Nothing goes over it, really.
Like oil.
We've got loads of new discs coming out. So Kino have gone nuts on Eastwood, not on DVD. There's no DVD coming from Kino. They are doing the Dollars prequels. We already know prequels. The first two Dollars movies in 4K we already know, but they're doing High Plains Drifter. They're doing
Interesting.
Out of Sight, Soderbergh.
Good Soderbergh. Nice.
There is no other, but anyway, yeah. And Manchurian Candidates, the original Manchurian.
They're doing God's work, aren't they? At the moment,
Yes.
Boy,
They
oh
are.
boy.
When they get it right.
When they get it right, yeah.
When they get it right, yeah, okay.
And that's adding it to Eastern Promises, Touch of Evil, which love Citizen Kane, but pound for pound, possibly prefer Touch of Evil. It's no Paddington 2, but you know, Touch of Evil is anyway. And
that opening scene is pretty something else, isn't it?
it is phenomenal, that tracking shot. Anyway, that's and To Live or Die in LA, which I just love, and yeah. And they sent out 1 billion hard target replacement discs. None of them come to me, but some forum members have reported receiving like 3. One of them's mine, by the way, guys, if you're listening.
Pass it on.
Yeah, please. So apparently they fixed the audio. I don't think they fixed the flickering, but I think that only affected like 6 billion people. And we've got Edge of Tomorrow, which isn't Kino, but it's coming. I think it's Warner. That's coming May. Edge of Tomorrow, about time.
I think so.
And the announcement
Hopefully
today,
they don't mess up the bass, eh? Because that was a terrific bass on the DV on the Blu-ray.
On their DVD.
So,
Get Disney
on the
to do
DVD.
it. No problems.
and they've announced today Spider-Man No Way Home in the States anyway on the
April?
12th of April.
Yeah.
12th
Disney
of
Plus
April.
first?
I don't think so.
No, because it's Sony.
Yeah.
So it's not coming to Disney Plus.
Is it not?
Discs only.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Well, you can buy it on streaming, can't you? But yes. I
But
agree.
who would want to?
Yeah, released on digital same day, I think.
I think
yeah.
it's
No,
digital now.
it's 2 weeks early.
Isn't
I think it's 2 weeks early. I think it's something like the 28th of March. So it's a couple of weeks earlier. The usual 2-week differential between digital release and disc.
I'm going to watch that.
I've got lovely, stupid steelbooks of the previous 2 Spider-Man home movies. I can't find a lovely, stupid steelbook of No Way Home.
Not yet. One, isn't there? A tentacle one or something, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's super expensive.
Oh, okay.
How much have you just paid for Mad Max 2?
Yeah, no, actually not that much.
£28.
It was like 25 quid. Acceptable. It arrived today, by the way, Mad Max Fury Road. So I'm really keen after Simon's review to. I'm not a connoisseur of whether or not the sound is.
Road
Warrior.
Road Warrior.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not a connoisseur of whether or not the sound is correctly programmed into the speakers. But I'm very much looking forward to watching it again. It's my second favorite.
Yeah, I am looking forward.
After which one?
Fury Road.
Fury Road is giant.
I do love Fury Road.
Ooh,
There it is.
good.
Very nice.
I wish I had my. I'll show mine. Here it is. You can't see it because of my background.
Yes, I can see it. Very nice. And we've got
Road.
Frankenstein.
Very yellow, isn't it?
Frankenstein and Robocop coming from Arrow. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming from Arrow.
Looking forward to Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it like the book?
It's sort of like the book.
Apparently, he doesn't
He
marry
talks
his
in it, at
sister,
least.
though. So, you know, there's that.
It's good. It's a good movie. It's a good
I like
shirtless
it.
movie.
I like
Shirtless.
flowing, luscious locks and sweaty chests.
Yeah,
It's just what Frankenstein's all about.
it really is. And again, it's Kenny B doing what he does best.
We could even make a gag about
overacting.
big eels as well, but let's not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Good movie.
Good. It is a good movie.
It is.
For
It is.
Robocop, personally, for a different take on the
Robocop isn't-
Frankenstein.
Robocop isn't as good of a monster as Frankenstein.
Looks better with his shirt on.
With his helmet on. Oh my god.
Yeah,
But what have we
he's got
just
much more firepower.
We've got Simon covered American Werewolf in London, or it's covering American Werewolf in London.
Do we show it? Do we show it? Oh no!
Yeah, you can see-
Do we show it?
yeah,
Oh,
do
no.
it. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Wow.
It's coming. It will be here very soon.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about it. Oh yes,
So
Nice.
your werewolf
That's it.
impression.
that's what you're gonna get.
That's it.
Yes, it was.
I want,
It's,
I need.
a super duper duper picture.
Very nice.
Is it as good as The
That's gonna be
Howling?
the review.
Is it as good as The
Yeah.
Howling, Si?
Or better, I'd say.
Oh,
That's going some then.
that
Oh,
is.
It's a stunning picture.
Wow. Okay.
Sound not so much, unfortunately, but the picture is awesome. But you'll have to read that when it comes out, won't you? Ha 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 ha. Spoilers.
Well,
I mean, you say read it, Si. What you mean is skip directly to the
Yes.
scores.
Skip direct to the scores, 4 out of 10.
that's not an average of all the other scores that they've listed here. Anyway, Phenomena, Mark. Also Arrow.
no, no. Oh, no.
So old.
Uh,
So old. We're all
yes.
Old.
The Dario Argento re-release bandwagon trundles on, and sadly, it is more Bird with a Crystal Plumage than it is Deep Red. So you get no extra features over the already existing Blu-ray release. You get the same audio options. The only upgrade here is the visuals. To be fair, they are very nice. They are. Yeah, Arrow can do these catalog titles really with their eyes closed. Though fantastic detail, lovely amounts of grain, no print damage, rock solid. You know, it's as you would have expected. But I think the one problem that I think most people are going to have with it is which of the 3 versions do you buy? Now, granted, they're all the same on the disc. All the stuff in the packaging is all the same. But those 3 very lovely outer boxes are causing.
Well, there's
much-
2, and then there's Creepers. Which why would you?
Yes, but you say that, Tom. Now,
I
obviously,
do say that.
Creepers is by far and away the worst version, and is a version that should not be watched even if you own the set. However, that is the front cover that I remember from my childhood that was sat
Yeah, me
on the shelf at Jack Beanstalk Video down in Greatmoor. The one that I always looked at, and my mum always said, "No, you're not having that," because a chimp would never be able to manage a straight razor, Mark. What did she know? What did she know, eh, Mum? Hey. So yes, it's a lovely set from Arrow. It's people have started to get it early. It's not released till Monday, but those that have ordered direct from Arrow are starting to get them in hand today. Yep, fans of Argento should pick it up. And even if you're not, let's be honest, it's not often you get a film with a future Oscar winner where she is shown the way to severed lady heads by telepathic fireflies. So you know,
That is
what's not to love?
that is pretty good.
I have a question, Mark, which is that I have the
Yes.
Worth upgrading?
It's,
Oh,
There you
hesitation.
go. There you go. No, that's fine.
No.
I'll stick.
Yeah,
I'll
the,
stick.
I mean, the
not at
answer's got to
35
be.
quid.
Yeah, the answer's got to be. It's for people who haven't got it, which is difficult because if you like it,
Most fans will have it.
Yeah, you probably
You've
got
already
the
got it, yeah.
Blu-ray. But when the standard edition rolls around for £20,
That's what you could do. Buy the standard edition when it's in an Arrow sale eventually for 15 quid. Stick it in your existing box. Job's a good one. You've basically got the new edition anyway. So it is, and I just wish that Arrow would do what they did with Deep Red. With Deep Red, they included almost 3 hours of new features
it was amazing.
to make it to up the value. Whereas these straight re-releases, I mean, I'll buy them, but even I'm getting a bit wary of them.
No,
now.
you get a poster. Buy them. Yeah, you get a poster and art cards.
Yeah, reversible sleeve, mate, makes all the difference.
Oh, they're not as good as the one in Escape from LA though.
Oh,
now that's some seriously folded bits of paper. Let me tell you.
Do you stick them in your ears when there's problems with the audio?
Nope. Problems with audio? What problems with the audio? Look at all the reviews on so many other sites that gave it all 5 out of 5 for audio. There's no problems with it.
I sense that there might actually be a problem.
The early reports from the States about problems with the Escape from LA audio are sadly correct for UK discs. They've basically replicated the center channel in the rear speakers. So you are sat directly between everything that's going on in the center channel, which of course, if you're watching on a soundbar or on a 2.0, you wouldn't know what's going on. I tested it on my Sonos Beam and it sounds absolutely fine. But stick it with a multi-channel system, and it's head-slappingly stupid. All the other languages are absolutely fine. Even the legacy True HD soundtrack on the old 10-year-old Blu-ray that's included in it sounds right, but they've cocked up the main English lossless surround channel. It's embarrassing, is what it is. It's terrible. Terrible.
You sounded
much like the film.
By that, yeah.
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 I made peace on this watching with it. It's I can laugh at it rather than weep at it now.
So with that sound on.
Well, of course, the thing is, though, John Carpenter famously turns around and says, "Oh no, Escape from LA is 10 times the film Escape from New York was." And if John Carpenter says it, it must be true, right, kids?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, no.
It is not a release that anyone should be buying. If I'm honest, even without the ballsed up audio, it is not a release anyone should be buying.
Good sale.
35 quid for folded up art cards and a poster when the standard edition has the same no extras and is released in a month for nearly half price.
I know one forum member who is first in line for this.
John Carpenter?
No. But yeah, okay, maybe. I imagine he gets a copy for free.
I don't know. Maybe.
He may do. I bet he just throws it straight in the recycling.
He loves it. He loves the movie.
What's with the audio? Like. Boom.
Has the check cleared? Yes. Boom. There it goes.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the first time we've ever reviewed Escape from LA as well. It's
right. It'll be the only time we should be reviewing Escape from LA.
First and only time.
Whereas we have reviewed Robocop a lot. We've reviewed Robocop.
It's been
all the way back when, and all the way through to the. It was pretty nice Blu-ray sets across the years, including
the last because the first few pictures weren't great, were they? And then they remastered it, and it looked gorgeous. So it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I have seen. It's very nice. The end.
Oh.
Right, let's talk TV. No,
no, I'm in favor. Move on. We're running out of time.
It's you know what? It's very organic. So that translates to
rainy as hell.
Doesn't look like Terminator 2. So people are going to enjoy the grain, or they're going to cry about a classic movie from the late 80s, which didn't have a huge budget and which was shot on real film. It looks like that. And there's some scenes which aren't great. There are some opticals that don't look fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Ed 209 always looked a bit dodgy.
He does. In fact, he doesn't look too bad, but the humans around him in the shot don't always look great. But there are other shots, close-ups on the faces that look fantastic, like proper cleaned up, sharp, and still you can see it was shot on film with a nice layer of grain and it hasn't been scrubbed to infinity. It's a very, very nice looking Robocop. It froze twice. My heart, yeah, popped the disc out, cleaned the hell out of it, checked it again a couple of times, plays beautifully.
So, Kaz, if I have that previous Arrow edition, is this worth the upgrade?
Yes. Ooh. It really is. It really did wow me. And they go to town on the Dolby Vision. It's a nice added layer because it is a future set film. So I didn't mind that the neons are bright, that the nightclub scene is full on color. I mean, they make use of it, and I think it looks fantastic. I would turning back to Simon talking about the audio on American Werewolf in London. I don't think they've done Atmos, and I don't think that it's ever going to be regarded as like demo Atmos. But I mean, it was originally, I think, 4-channel.
So is this Atmos on the Arrow disc? Is this their first Atmos track?
There's Atmos on the 4K. Oh, I'm going to cry now. Someone else is going to slap me when I get this wrong. But there's Atmos on the 4K disc, and but it's not going to be a demo track.
Yeah.
And it's but I kind of sat back and I thought, but it does sound like a faithful Robocop. It just sounds the way it was supposed to sound. It doesn't sound the way people complained about the messed up audio on Mad Max 2 originally, or what, it doesn't sound like someone has done something crazy with it.
It's not got new Foley effects or anything rubbish like that.
No, it's pretty there. Cool. I mean, it's crazy the things you remember. They must be planted in your mind. Like when he opens a door into the boardroom, and for some reason the door makes a ridiculous futuristic sound. Like it couldn't possibly make that sound. It's a door opening, but it sounds like it just sounds like John Carpenter's in the background with his keyboard and has given the door a sound. And, so yes.
I want John Carpenter to do my door sound. How do I get that? Make that happen.
I think it's lovely. It's a packed release. I mean, I think it's got, it's Arrow, so they haven't gone through all the extras. I only just popped it in to make sure it looked gorgeous, but I can't see much new from their stonking Blu-ray set, but there's a lot there. There's both cuts, the director's and theatrical. There's the TV cut, because we all want to watch that. There's all the additional scenes from the TV cut. There's deleted scenes. There's like commentaries on both of the cuts. There's a bunch of interviews. There's a lot of material on there. It's a very, very nice set. I haven't seen the set because they just send me the disc. So if I were to show it, it would look like I could just grab a disc here. It would look like any of the other discs around. But the sets, which is being shown, I think it's a fantastic looking set. Lots of
groovy.
I'm going to wait until 2 and 3 come out in 4K as well.
I would wait for 3.
I love 2 actually. I think 2 is a fantastic.
2's great.
3 is rubbish.
They're both great.
3
is rubbish. 2 is 3. 2 is the Road Warrior, I would say.
Ooh,
he's that good.
Controversial.
Wow.
No,
I have a lot of
2 is fantastic. 3 is total 2, and amazingly, 3 is the Thunderdome.
I have a surprising amount of time for 2. I like the upgraded bad guy. I like the angle with the new drug that's on the streets. I think all of that's really well played.
Still want to slap the kid though.
Gets it.
Not sure about some of the comedy in it. I don't know whether it always worked. I quite like the rioting, and I quite like the ambush, and everything
what they do.
So spins out.
It's a good film. I honestly, it's a brilliant film. It's a fantastic scene.
But it was
dropped the ball on number 3.
I mean, it was kind of an abomination whatever of the original planned sequel, which came out as a comic, I think, Frank Miller's Robocop. I think that's what they were going to shoot for originally, because they missed a lot of that. That had the same Kane and the same villain and a lot of similar themes, but it was a lot darker. And I wonder whether they started the ball rolling with some of the comedy that we see utterly ruin Jetpack Robo in 3. Fighting samurais with a flamethrower rocket appendage that magically fits on his cut off arm.
Yeah.
No, it's like Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's like,
no, nothing is that bad.
It's pretty bad. You can see
It's
the
pretty
natural
bad.
transition from 3 to a TV series where he doesn't swear or kill people.
Yep.
Without
and they
3,
wanted to make it all kid friendly and sell toys, didn't they? That's why.
So that's why I give him a jetpack. He's going to fly around. He doesn't weigh a thing. He's aerodynamic, and you can definitely take him. It's like Thunderbird 2 all over again. It looks really good at flying.
And I guarantee you, when Arrow released Robocop 3 on a spiffy 4K special edition at 45 quid, we'll all have it. We'll all be buying it.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yes.
Come on.
Put it in the set with the others and charge 100 quid. I'm there.
Sounds good.
We got time for some TV? We got time.
Probably just about. I derailed a bit by talking about Robocop 2 and 3, didn't I?
Yeah.
Or I talked a lot
It's
about
worth talking about 2. Shouldn't have mentioned 3.
You love 3.
But anyway.
We're still talking about it.
Yeah, okay. So
TV.
So TV news, Justified's coming back.
Yay!
I mean, like, does anyone? I mean, I got a yay. That's good news.
Never seen it.
Mark doesn't know.
Oh, it's awesome.
Hasn't lived.
It's frills.
It is really, really good. Timothy Oliphant.
It's really good.
The guy.
Anything with Timmy Elephants in is great.
Yep. Basically, the guy he's in the Star Wars universe, except in. I'm gonna make up some place he's in, but it isn't
America.
there.
Wyoming.
He's
It's
any of these
Kentucky,
places.
isn't it?
That sounds more like it.
Harlan County and Kentucky.
County,
I know this
yes.
because I've been watching it. Yeah, because it's in preparation for the new season. I've been watching, gone right back to
I mean,
again and started watching it.
Elmore
awesome.
Leonard wrote the book and then consulted on it. I mean, it's the late great Elmore Leonard. Fantastic script. I would say they managed to keep his kind of dialogue going all the way through to the end. Had a great end, had a fantastic run. I really loved the last season. I loved all of it. They're bringing it back. And I will say they did continue writing books even after the author, passed. They wrote a book that is actually, I think, going to be the premise for this. So I'm very excited to see more of that. Very good. We got Kenobi coming. Know that. We got more Raised by Wolves.
Sandy rubbish.
Is Raised by Wolves? Has that got a UK?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It has. Like a month and a couple of days.
Okay.
It's starting a bit shaky.
I say okay, meaning I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm going to give it a 10 this year.
Oh, go on.
You should.
You want to.
Just for the trolls. Do it.
Just for the trolls? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. 10 years since Netflix started? Did we notice that?
Yes. This was a couple of weeks ago, but yeah. Netflix has been doing original programming for 10 years. Officially.
What was their first?
Lilyhammer.
Oh, of course it was. I thought that was on.
Yeah.
Prime.
They didn't. I don't think they produced it. I think they acquired it because their first produced one was House of Cards, and that was a year later.
And what was their first film? Was it Beasts of No Nation?
Ooh, was it?
Was it?
I say that because I watched the Criterion disc a few weeks ago, and I think they said on there that it was Netflix's first in-house movie produced. I could be very wrong, and someone in the chat, please point out if I am indeed
please
very
in
wrong.
The chat,
People who
Mark
say
that's
Netflix
right.
movies are bad. Come on. Some Netflix movies are amazing.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've been going for 10 years. And hasn't it all been glorious?
Yeah, but you know, to be fair, though, they have absolutely changed the way we
It's
watch
been a roller
TV.
coaster.
It's totally changed the way we watch TV, and we can say all we like about the amount of crap that's produced by Netflix and Amazon. It's just, I look at my viewing habits now, and I watch so many more new films because they are there, they are here at the push of a button than I ever did. And granted, yes, most of them are a bit crap. But it's changed the way that certainly I and I think many others have watched films, let alone TV series.
Well, they've changed their entire TV landscape by making all the other streaming systems come online.
Yeah.
So, whereas it used to be just Netflix, now we've got I don't know how many. I couldn't even count them on 4 hands.
Yeah, I don't even watch broadcast TV anymore of any kind. I just watch streaming.
Yeah, I pulled the plug on that. I agree with that. That's streaming is the way to go.
I've not had a Costello for 2 years.
There you go.
Yeah, I also think that a lot of people I know who talk about not knowing whether they'll pick up like Paramount streaming or the next streamer that comes out, they don't look on Netflix as an add-on. They look on that as the primary.
It's a standard. Yeah,
and everything else.
But it comes with the TV, doesn't it? It comes with the telly.
But having said that, if they carry on with their pricing increases, I think they might find themselves not quite the go-to that they once were.
They've got a big base, though. They've got a big footprint.
They have, but they're the most expensive, aren't they? The most expensive streamer. If you want the top package, aren't they the most expensive streamer?
They are.
But,
yeah, they have I would say they have the largest monthly release slate. That doesn't equate to anything useful.
If that means quality, clearly. Haven't you seen Apple? I mean, come on.
I think that's what they would say to justify it, that they release the most stuff.
They do, and they make the most stuff. They release the most, and they occasionally hit something with their shotgun blasts. They do.
Well, they're going to win the Oscars, aren't they? With Power of the Dog. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It doesn't seem
which we've all seen. We've all seen that movie.
None of us have.
I haven't.
Nope, not me.
It's not a powerful dog. It's not powerful enough to. But I will. I'm going to. Maybe for the Oscars we should review it. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe we should. We've got a couple of Netflix-related questions on the chat.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a fantastic question there.
Go on, Si.
Because of my own namesake, of course. Do we think Daredevil, moving off Netflix, will turn up on Disney Plus in the UK? That is a great question.
Rob's.
Maybe.
I mean, they're now that there is
maybe on Star.
Substantial reason for them to put it on Disney Plus. I'm sure they will.
It's a Western.
It's a Western starring Danny Trejo.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Okay, so yes, it's gonna come on Disney. It's got to come on Disney.
It's got to because of
there are reasons.
That film that we mentioned earlier, and
the TV show that we can't mention.
The TV show, exactly.
Yeah.
There are movie and TV reasons for it to happen now.
Yes, and yes. So yes, it will. It's taken a minute though, hasn't it? What would be more interesting is if they did more. Or maybe it wouldn't.
I just want
could be like PG. I don't
just
know.
bring Jessica Jones back into the
Punisher.
Into the MCU. Get her into the MCU. That's all I want.
Did you say Punisher? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded like Frank Castle. Bring Frank Castle. They do.
You'll never beat Dolph. You'll never beat Dolph.
What about when Ray Stevenson did it? That was good.
Oh, Warzone indeed. That was a car crash, wasn't it?
It was.
Love that movie.
I actually quite like that.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I actually quite. It was proper over the top comic book. I mean, the violence in it was off the chart.
It was some of the most fun I've had in the cinema. It was amazing.
Steady on, Tom. What, did you drop your keys?
Don't know what you're on about, Mark.
Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, talking about quality over quantity, Severance, Apple does good stuff. Tell us about the good stuff, Tom.
Can do. I mean, there's not a lot of it out yet. There's only 2 episodes of Severance dropped on Apple TV Plus. But what's been released so far has been great. It's really confirming that Apple, like you say, are quality over quantity. Like they all drop a couple of things a month, and suddenly both of those things will be at least pretty good. But Severance isn't pretty good. It's really good. It's I described it in the review as I can't even remember now. I described it in the review.
It was so long ago.
It was
described it as being John Malkovich updated and crossed with
yeah, I can't remember
something
either.
Funny.
Something Office Space.
Anyway, Office Space. That's
yeah.
It. Yeah. Office Space meets John Malkovich, which
It's because
sold me. You sold me by the thing you didn't remember.
Not being John Malkovich in as much as the plot, but in as much as like the style of it, like the sense of humor, the bleak sense of humor.
That's what I took for it. Yeah, that's what
it's really just intriguing and really well acted, and the script is dynamite. And just go and watch the first 2 episodes. Actually, no. What I would probably say is wait until there's more, because I've seen the first 2 episodes and I am just hanging on the edge of my seat waiting for more of it to drop. So yeah, it's real good. I think I gave it an 8 up front, but if it continues on the trajectory it started, it's going to be even higher than that. It's awesome.
Well, you've convinced me again, Tom. I might have to get past the first dull as anything 25 minutes then and give it another go.
The first episode is of a much more it doesn't grab you immediately, but the second episode is amazing.
I'm
you are persuading me.
Good, I should persuade you.
With your silken words, Mr. Davies.
Plus, it's got Adam Scott in, and he's got a weird hairstyle.
I was going to say that it's the haircut. No,
I'm going to be all in for that, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna also apologize. I didn't ignore Dirty Sign Lover. His question: have we seen All of Us Are Dead on Netflix? Has anyone seen it?
I have.
No,
not seen it. It looks great. It's more zombies, Korean zombies. So it's in a school. So I mean, it's got pedigree behind it.
Yes.
Yeah. But I've not yet seen it. I'm fully justified up at the moment.
Korea have come up with some great shows. So I think the question, have we seen it, is suggesting to me that we maybe should.
Yeah,
we ought.
So
Korean zombies are good zombies.
Yeah.
Yes, Kingdom.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Kingdom. Yeah.
And I'm also going to say that there was a lot of chat on the forum about Peacemaker. I mean, Peacemaker closed out very well.
So I've only seen the first 3 episodes, and I very much enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I've come to the end. And I enjoy it because it's very hard R, but they have fun with it. You know, unlike that crappy Titans where they're all sweary and mopey and meany. No, they're proper having a blast.
The other side of the scale. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Again, all the sweary stuff going on, but it's fun. It's brilliant. First 3 episodes so far. So between those and Justified, my TV viewing is full up.
Well, I think they absolutely stuck the ending. And someone commented on the forums, John Cena should get an award for this. It's possibly a tiny bit of hyperbole, and it will make people just go, "What are you talking about? John Cena as Peacemaker is going to get an award?" But he's really good in it. He's very funny, and he's very much the center of a lot of the humor. Like, they're all laughing at him, and he's playing it stupid, and he's also playing it kind of relevant stupid, often socially relevant stupid, but not in your face. And he's kind of the emotional core as well. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know how they do it, but you come to the end, and he's done it. John Cena, he's
So it's a superhero version of Blockers, then, is what you're telling me.
It's a lot of fun, and
It is a lot of fun.
It's good action. It's very nicely tied into the kind of wider DC universe, and they've announced a second season. This would have been perfect as is, but I think anyone who's watched it will be looking forward to that. Again, we have no idea when it's coming, no idea. So, with that beacon of positivity, I think.
So I've just got one last thing to say before we go, and I'll just say four syllables. 4K80 has been completed. It's
Yay!
not yet available to get, but it is complete. The cleanup is done, and we are very excited for this.
This is Star Wars, by the way.
Oh yes, well, you've got to be a big Empire Strikes Back is actually what it is.
Yeah,
the guys who've done the clean up of 4K 77, 4K 83, they are 4K scans of a 1980 print. So it's as it was in a cinema in 1980 when it was first released. So it's got none of the messing around with that Lucas did to the special edition. So it's as it was seen in 1980, as close as it can be. It's taken 2 years to get this one cleaned up because the print that they had was pretty bad, and we've been waiting 2 years for it. So once it drops, oh yeah,
nice.
I've grown to love the messing about that George Lucas did with the original trilogy.
No,
that's a whole other podcast right there, Mr. Davies.
I think some of it's quite fun.
And on that note,
yes.
How about a competition? Oh, and Simon on the chat is asking, will Peacemaker make it to Sky shortly? Do you think? I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, the fact that Raised by Wolves has been announced suggests to me that if Peacemaker was going to come, it would have been announced already. There's some reason why it's taking a little bit longer. Otherwise, it's finished now. It's still, I don't think it's been announced yet. I haven't heard anything, and I think they would have said something. But we would assume they get it on Sky because Sky gets all of that stuff. I think everything that comes through. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's come off HBO now. So fingers crossed. Podcast competition. Win a copy of Quiet American on Blu-ray. Philip Noyce's The Quiet American on Blu-ray. So to enter this, you need the question I'm going to tell you on this podcast. Who directed Philip Noyce's The Quiet American? Okay, that's the question. There you go.
Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah.
Good Steven Soderbergh or poor Steven
Answer
Soderbergh?
is not Michael Caine. As a clue, the answer is not Michael Caine. I think that's about it. So going to thank Simon.
Thanks, everybody. It's been great to be here.
Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Bye, all.
And Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. No, thank you, Kaz.
Thank you more.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you a couple of weeks, I think, live. Maybe a day early, though. Day early, Wednesday. Not live, recorded, but
smooth.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well recovered.
Yes. Nice.
We'll be back soon.